Have you ever been on a plane, looked out the window, and wondered how we can keep doing this without, cooking the planet? Well, the answer might just be hiding in plain sight. It's called sustainable aviation fuel, and today we're going to break down exactly how this incredible tech is set to completely transform the skies.
So just how important is this stuff? We'll look at this number, 65%. That's how much of the emissions cuts the entire aviation industry is counting on from sustainable aviation fuel, or SAF, to hit its net zero goal by 2050. Let me be clear, SAF isn't just part of the solution, it is the main event.
But, okay, before we get to the solution, let's just take a moment to really frame the problem. Because the challenge ahead for aviation, well, it's absolutely monumental.
Think about that for a second. The entire global airline industry, every flight, everywhere, has promised to become carbon neutral in just a few decades. For an industry that literally runs on burning fossil fuels high up in the sky, that is an unbelievably ambitious goal. So the huge question is, how on earth are they going to pull that off?
Well, that question brings us right to the hero of our story. The single most important tool we have to solve this massive puzzle is, you guessed it, sustainable aviation fuel. So what is SAF exactly? Simply put, it's a renewable jet fuel. Instead of drilling for crude oil, we make it from things like used cooking oil, leftover corn stalks from farms, or, and this is the really cool part, even carbon dioxide that's been captured directly from the air.
And this comparison really gets to the heart of it. See, conventional fuel takes carbon that was locked underground and adds it to the atmosphere. It's a one-way street. But SAF works inside a cycle. It's basically recycling carbon that's already part of the ecosystem. And that's exactly why it can slash the total life cycle emissions by up to an incredible 80%.
And what makes it such a game changer is how practical it is. First, you've got that huge 80% emissions cut. But second, and this is crucial, it's a drop-in fuel. That means we don't need new planes, we don't need to rebuild our airports. You can pour it into existing jets today, blend it up to 50% with regular fuel, and it just works. No modifications needed.
Okay, so if SAF is so great, you're probably asking, why isn't every single flight using it right now? Well, this is where we hit a pretty major reality check. There are a few big problems. Just take a look at this chart. That tiny little bar on the left, that's how much SAF we managed to produce in 2024. Now look at the massive bar on the right. That's what we need by 2030. We are facing an absolutely enormous production gap. And this really puts that gap into perspective. Right now, all the SAF we produce in the world makes up just 0.3% of all the jet fuel burned. It's like a single drop of water in a gigantic bucket. We're starting from an incredibly small place.
And then there's the second massive hurdle, the cost. Right now, SAF is anywhere from 2 to 5 times more expensive than traditional jet fuel. And that price difference is a huge barrier for airlines.
The third challenge is a little more subtle. It's a technology bottleneck. You see, a whopping 82% of all the SAF made today uses one single method, a pathway called HEFA. Now, it's a great technology, but we've become way too reliant on it.
And here's the problem with being so reliant on that one method. The HEFA process needs feedstocks like used cooking oil and animal fats. And, well, there's only so much of that stuff to go around. We are on track to completely max out our global supply of it by the end of this decade. We're about to hit a wall.
So, to close the gap on production, on cost, and on technology, we need nothing short of a full-scale revolution. And the good news is, it's already starting. So how do we actually get there? Well, the strategy to make SAF a mainstream reality really boils down to these 3 things. We've got to diversify our technology, we need to enact smart government policies, and we have to unlock a massive amount of investment to build this industry.
So on the tech side, the key is to move beyond just HEFA. And we're already seeing these incredible next-gen pathways. You've got alcohol-to-jet and Fischer-Tropsch, which are really promising. But the real game changer is that one at the bottom, powered-to-liquid, or PTL. This technology literally creates fuel from captured CO2 and green hydrogen. And its potential for scaling up, it's basically unlimited.
Now, of course, technology alone isn't enough. Governments are stepping in to create demand. And we're seeing 2 different approaches play out. The EU is using mandates, basically a stick. They're forcing fuel suppliers to blend in more SAF over time. The US, on the other hand, is using incentives, the carrot. They're offering big tax credits to make producing SAF more profitable. Both paths are designed to get the market moving fast.
And that brings us to the third piece of the puzzle, money.
a lot of it. To build all the new refineries and infrastructure we need by 2030, the industry needs a capital injection of somewhere between $19 and $45 billion. It's a staggering sum, but it's absolutely essential if we're going to bridge that supply gap we saw earlier.
So, let's say we pull all this off. We get the tech, the policy, and the investment right. What does the future of flying actually look like? What's the payoff?
This right here is huge. The world's biggest aircraft makers, Boeing, Airbus, Embraer, have all committed that by 2030, their new planes will be able to fly on 100% unblended SAF. This is what gets us beyond that 50% limit and unlocks the fuel's full power to decarbonize flight.
And the benefits aren't just for the climate. Scaling up the SAF industry is a massive economic opportunity. I mean, just in the United States alone, it's projected to create nearly 400,000 new jobs, everything from farming and collecting feedstock to engineering and operating the new refineries.
Which really leaves us with this final thought. The technology is here, the roadmap is laid out, and the benefits, both for the planet and the economy, are crystal clear. We know how to achieve green skies. The only question left is whether we have the collective will, as governments, as industries, and as people, to actually fund it and make this sustainable future a reality.